like to call the meeting to order. Can we have a moment of silence and keep all our military in our prayers and our law enforcement in our prayers that they all come home safe? Thank you. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Here.
Freeholder
Here.
Kenny. Freeholder Koppel.
Here.
Freeholder Nara.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti. Freeholder Director Rios.
Here. We have some recognitions.
Yes, first is proclaiming April of 2017 as Autism Awareness Month. Next is recognizing the New Brunswick Jazz Project as they celebrate their 7th anniversary. And last is recognizing Eagle Scout Benjamin Joseph Weaver as he attains Eagle Scout status.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Armwood. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Koppel.
Yes.
Freeholder Nara.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Freeholder Tamaro will make the presentation for Autism Awareness Month.
This evening we have a very special guest, and it's an honor for him to be here this evening. He was the first person ever to light up the Edison Memorial Tower blue. And his name is Ryan O'Neill, and his mother Laura. And Andy Toth, did you come forward? And Sandy, come forward too. Autism Awareness Month marks an important time for individuals, families, and communities to honor and unite for many reasons. The children and their families remind us each day of the gains that have been made in understanding and supporting those affected by autism spectrum disorders, but also the enormous amount of work that remains to be done. The phrase autism awareness, acceptance can elicit many feelings, and today I would like to challenge all of us to consider what it truly means. What follows is a summary of some of the lessons learned from those most capable, loving, devoted, and remarkable parents. Awareness and acceptance is to be open, to be compassionate, and most important, to be kind. Give a smile to the mom in the grocery store whose child is having a tantrum over a candy bar that she's so desperately managing to keep from him. Invite the child with autism to your child's birthday party and make sure that those parents know that their child is genuinely welcome. Whether it is for 5 minutes, for an hour, or maybe hopefully the entire time. If the child falls apart in your presence, ask the parent, what can I do to make it better for you? Ask questions, reserve judgment, and don't assume you know more than you do. Give your friend a hug or a squeeze of the hand when that child has the bravery to make it through an event. Be there for her with a shoulder to lean on in her isolation when he does not. Teach your children to be inclusive and not merely a concept or a accommodation, but a lesson on how we treat others. It is a horrible feeling to be excluded, and there are gifts of friendship to be found in all of us. Acceptance is not simply to tolerate one another, but to value our differences and recognizing the strength that live within us. Everybody has differences. All people matter. Work harder to reach out, be kind, teach your kids about the acts of kindness and the kindness that benefits everybody. Know that kindness needs to be taught and continually reinforced. Be proactive to change. Imagine what it would be if the tables were turned. Stand up for the rights of all people, whether your child is neurotypical, quirky, special needs, disabled, differently abled, different, or any label. The label does not even begin to tell the whole story about a child, their family, or their strength and their love. I have a cousin who has a son who has autism, and last year He's incapable of speaking. He's nonverbal. And they asked him to write down what autism means to him. And he wrote down, "I'm beautiful. I'm not broken." This man right here has done a remarkable job, and so is Laura, the mother. He raised over $8,000 one weekend at Menlo Park selling these shirts. What a great job. I've really seen this young man improve a lot, and it's because of the love that the mother and Annie has given him. And would you like to say something?
Yes.
Sure.
I want to thank the county and for all their support. They stood behind me in Edison Township, Mayor Lanky and his council. I never met anybody with autism, but when I met Ryan, I fell in love with him and his mother, and I had a father that protected me that died at a young age, and I'm his protection and his voice. So I want to thank Charlie for helping me. He was behind it 100% from day one. And the money's going to go to Autism Speaks, and next year we're going to make it bigger and better. Thank you to the county and everybody for all your support. Thank you.
Correspondence?
Each Freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Is there a motion to accept?
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Koppel, second by Deputy Director Tamara. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes for approval.
Board of Chosen Freeholders regular meeting, April 6, 2017 at 7 o'clock p.m.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Tamara, seconded by Freeholder Nara. All in favor? Or roll call, I'm sorry.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny? Freeholder Koppel?
Yes.
Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. We have ordinances, we have
Yep.
a public hearing and final adoption.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 12, 2017. Of this public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 6, 2017.
The clerk will read ordinance number 432 by title only.
Bond ordinance providing for 2017-2018 general capital improvements for the Middlesex County Vocational and Technical High Schools located within the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3 million bonds or notes of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey for financing such appropriation, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, April 20th at 7 o'clock p.m. and authorizing publication thereof.
At this time, I open up the public hearing on this ordinance. Any comments from the public?
I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Deputy Director Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Armwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 432 on final reading?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Armwood. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder
Yes.
Kenny? Freeholder Koppel? Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 12, 2017. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 6, 2017.
The clerk will read ordinance number 433 by title only.
Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of various equipment and furniture and the undertaking of various 2017-18 capital improvements and for facilities of Middlesex County College located within the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $2 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2 million bonds or notes of the county for financing such appropriation, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, April 20th, 2017 at 7 o'clock p.m. and publication thereof.
At this time, I open the public hearing on ordinance number 433. Any comments from the public?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Deputy Director Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Armwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 433 on final reading?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Freeholder Koppel, seconded by Deputy Director Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder
Yes.
Kenny? Freeholder Koppel?
Yes.
Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 12, 2017. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 6, 2017.
The clerk will read ordinance number 434 by title only.
Capital ordinance providing for various 2017 capital improvements by, in, and for the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $16,500,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund to pay for the cost thereof.
At this time, I would like to open up the public hearing.
Move to close the public portion.
Second?
Motion to close by Deputy Director Tamaro, seconded by Fielder Armwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 434 on final reading?
Second.
Motion by Fielder Koppel, seconded by Deputy Director Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny?
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel?
Yes.
Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes.
Notice of this public hearing is published in the Home News Tribune on April 12, 2017. This public hearing was authorized in a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 6, 2017.
The clerk will read ordinance number 435 by title only.
Capital ordinance providing for various 2017 capital improvements by and in and for the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $16,500,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund to pay the cost thereof.
At this time, I open up the public hearing. Any comments from the public?
Move to close the public portion.
Second?
Motion to close by Deputy Director Tamaro, seconded by Fielder Armwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 435 on final reading?
Second?
Motion by Fielder Koppel, seconded by Fielder Armwood. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny?
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel?
Yes.
Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Reports of Freeholders. Freeholder Ken Armwood.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. From the Business Development and Education Department, Office of Workforce Development. The Office of Workforce Development is accepting new enrollees for their workforce learning links located in Perth Amboy and New Brunswick. County residents 18 and older who need assistance with enhancing their literacy skills are encouraged to enroll. The instructor-led classes utilize the latest computer software to help adults improve their reading and math comprehension levels. Interested residents can call 732-745-3955 or log on to the county's website and enter the keywords Workforce Learning Link for more information. Incumbent worker training is now being provided to 93 employees at Sunny Delight in South Brunswick. The training, which is being funded through the Office of Workforce Development, is giving Sunny Delight employees the opportunity to receive Six Sigma training. The training will enhance employees' skills and lead to career advancement. This training will also enable the plant to become more efficient with improved productivity. This project will also lead to new jobs and prevent layoffs, which may have occurred without this program. It should be noted that Middlesex is the first county in the state to implement such a program, which is now being considered as a statewide model. From Middlesex County Office of Culture and Heritage, Sunday, April 23rd at 2 p.m., a spring workshop creating Ukrainian floral headdresses is scheduled at the Indian Queen's Tavern in East Jersey Old Town Village in Piscataway. There is a $10 materials fee. Registration required, 732-745-4489. Sunday, April 30th at 2 p.m., a free lecture series on the 1918 influenza pandemic occurring during the First World War will be held at the East Jersey Old Town Village in Piscataway. This program is a part of a series of events leading to a new county museum World War I exhibit opening in October 2017. Middlesex County Office of Cooperative Extension, Earth Day is Saturday, April 22nd, 2017. At 1 p.m., celebrate at East Jersey Old Town Village in Piscataway with the groundbreaking of the new Edward Antill Garden using horse and plow provided by the Howell Living History Farm. The Edward Antill Garden will showcase a historic Piscataway farmer well known in the colonies for cultivation of crops. Heirloom plantings for public display throughout the season will be completed with a partnership with Middlesex County Office of Cooperative Extension and the Rutgers Agricultural Experiment Station and Freeholder Director. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder Armwood Fielder Charlie Kenny.
Thank you, Director. Just a couple items. Roosevelt Park, the family roller skating rink, will be open on April 21st and run through June 18th. For more information, you can reach out to 732-494-3785 or check out our county website. There's more info there. And just one other item. May 13th is International Migratory Bird Day at the Ireland Brook Conservation Area for habitat improvement projects. Help improve the habitat for birds and other wildlife through several different projects. A 7:30 a.m. bird hike precedes the volunteer event. And that's all I have, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Leslie Coppola.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. As we heard, tonight we adopted capital improvement bond ordinances that will continue to enhance our existing infrastructure. Ordinance 432, 433, 434, and 435 focus on the county's infrastructure and our educational system. These included continued funding for highways and bridges infrastructure, park systems, building improvements to our emergency management center, and juvenile detention center, as well as many other county projects. Also included was funding for various campuses of our vocational school district, including renovation of science labs, replacement of hot water circulation pumps, repaving of driveways, and parking utility and lighting improvements. In addition, for Middlesex County College, these ordinances will provide monies for minor capital infrastructure projects to maintain existing buildings, improvements to walkways, parking lots, and roadways, utility and lighting improvements. By adopting each of these ordinances, we continue to stand firm in our commitment to offer the highest quality education to our students, because we know that the cornerstone of a great community is a top-notch education. In addition, we continue to issue these bonds under our AAA rating umbrella. This results in direct savings for the county taxpayers by paying lower interest rates. These savings allow the county to undertake and fund additional capital improvements which would not otherwise be possible. It is estimated that in the last 15 years, the county saved over $35 million by having the highest rating possible. And that concludes my report, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Coppola. Freeholder Santee Nara.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. This is a report for the Public Safety and Health Committee. 2 years ago, the county invested in purchasing 123 automated electric defibrillators, AED devices. The AEDs purchased are state-of-the-art devices with simplistic voice command operating instructions. These life-saving instruments are strategically located throughout all county buildings. One such device is hanging on the wall in this room. The Board of Chosen Freeholders made this investment in an effort to safeguard all employees and visitors while in county buildings. In 2015, the county also trained over 175 staff members in cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Beginning in May, the county will again recertify staff in CPR, including a refresher course on the use and operation of the AEDs. On Monday, the Office of Emergency Management and Preparedness hosted a group of cadets and advisors at the Middlesex County Fire Academy. This group was given a tour of the entire facility, including the opportunity to view the specialized equipment and response vehicles utilized by our responders. They also participated in a mock scenario in the county's Emergency Operations Center, utilizing our recently required Web EOC program. The group thoroughly enjoyed all aspects of the program, and a special thanks goes to our Office of Emergency Management, Hazmat, Fire Marshal, and the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office for their specialized assistance in conducting the day's activities. Finally, next week, the Department of Public Safety and Health will be participating in a national exercise entitled Gotham Shield. The event will simulate the activation of an improvised nuclear device, or otherwise known as an IND. This training exercise will focus on population monitoring and the decontamination of affected individuals, the activation of our Emergency Operations Center, and the deployment of various other pieces of specialized emergency response equipment and resources. This will provide our staff with the hands-on training necessary to remain proficient when responding to incidents of this type. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Freeholder Nara. Freeholder Deputy Director Charlie Tamara.
Thank you, Director. I don't have a report this evening, but I'd just like to make a comment on Resolution 17-617, which is the improvements of a light for the corner of Oak Tree Road and Woodland Avenue in Edison and South Plainfield. I want to thank the engineering department. I know, I think it was first studied in 2004, but anytime you work with three different agencies, three different government agencies, it's never easy. It's very difficult to accomplish this. And I want to thank the engineering department because I know he'll be happy I won't have to call on this any longer. Thank you, Director.
Thank you. I just have a few comments. A few weeks ago, I went with our staff, Human Services, Community Services, and we went to Cranberry Seniors and addressed them and let them know about the different senior services that we provide and veteran services as well. It was well attended, and it's always good to let those folks know on these different programs that we have to offer. Today I went to a program also for veterans in Middlesex County College, addressing different issues or programs that are available for veterans. And then I also attended today a ceremony in Woodbridge Mall for veterans that received medals way back from even World War II, that their families, the surviving families, accepted on their behalf, and there were medals that were given out to World War II veterans, Korea, Vietnam, and the current conflict that's going on in the Mideast. And it was nice to see that it was well attended and that they were all recognized for their efforts and sacrifices that they made for our nation. At this time, Mr. Kelso, are there any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held? Resolutions to be voided?
Yes, Field Director, Resolution 17-614R is proposed for voiding. That's the acceptance of construction plans and specifications and authorization to bid for the Main Street improvements from Broadway to Radford Ferry Road Bridge, South Amboy, New Jersey project. This is going to be reconfigured because of different funding opportunities.
Is there a motion to void Resolution 17-614?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Armwood, seconded by Freeholder Koppel. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder
Yes.
Kenny? Freeholder Koppel?
Yes.
Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios?
Yes. This time I open up the meeting to the public on any resolutions listed on the agenda. Please state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Charles Cradaville. I'm from New Brunswick, and I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, community newspaper that's available for free online and in print. The one I want to ask about on page 14 is number 665. Where is the housing that Penrose is going to be doing?
Which one?
665R.
665. That is for the old historic building of Roosevelt Hospital, isn't that correct, Mr. Kelso?
No, actually,
Oh, I'm
this is
sorry.
a project, it's in Edison.
Kilmer?
Kilmer, it's on the Kilmer site. We've already constructed 120, and it's 170 north.
Okay, and isn't it true that your county council represents this firm?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm amazed at the conflicts of interest that
Charlie,
The question, excuse me, Mr. Kelso, but the question is about the resolution. Comments are about the resolution. Any questions relating to the resolution itself?
that's my comment. I'll just move on. I do want to ask about several others. I'll just list them so that I don't run out of time. I do want to understand why we need another lawyer. This would be an Antonelli Cantor under 587. I want to know why we need another special assistant counsel. What's so special about them? What are they offering? I want to understand the media buy, 598. It's almost $1 million on media buying. I want to know where you're spending that money and what things you're promoting. And I want to ask about the contract right beneath that, the Board of Pearlman.
Which resolution?
599, the insurance contract. I want to know if that was publicly bid, and if so, how many people bid? And I think it says this is the low proposal. So I just want to know how many other folks bid. And regarding 647, the mailing of ballots, Reliance Graphics, I'd also like to know if that contract is bid and whether they were the low bidder, how many bidders there were. And last one would be the sheriff's accreditation fee, $685, $6,000. Wasn't this just recently paid? How often do you have to pay for this? Is my question.
Okay, you're done with your questions? Okay, we'll start off with Mr. Kelso. The attorney is a renewal of that contract already in existence. This is just a renewal.
And what's their special service they provide, specialty?
The reference is, the terminology is what we call those outside contract attorneys. They're called special assistant county counsels. They perform whatever service we request of them. It may be handling a civil action, suing someone for knocking a traffic signal over. There can be any kind of things. It's based upon what we assign to them.
And how many are there total?
How many?
How many do you have? You have special assistant county counsel?
I think we have a total of, under contract, of 5.
Next one was the media body.
Today, there are, across all of our departments and offices, there is information that gets disseminated to the public relative to our programs and services. We're doing 2 things. We're centralizing that under one area, under marketing, to support all of the departments in the county of Middlesex. And more importantly is we're going to use all the media vehicles available to us, both social media, TV, radio, print, to ensure that all the programs and services that are offered under the county, we provide a greater education information to the public to make them more aware. One of the things that we've determined over the last couple of years, the fact that there's many programs that the county provides that we have not been effective in communicating to the public. This provides an opportunity to do so. It's also an enhancement to our website, which is another media vehicle, so that people can utilize our website to find out those programs and services that are available to the public sector.
Glad to hear you'll be advertising in all the vehicles. That includes New Brunswick Today, I take it.
We'll look at all vehicles.
Great. You'll do it. All right. The ballots, the Reliance Graphics contract.
Question on that one? I'm sorry.
Was it? Did you bid that out, or is this?
That's time.
$599?
Yes.
Look it out.
647.
And there was
You
3
talking
bids.
at 647 or 599?
647 was the one I was asking about, Reliance Graphics.
This was a bid from, with a contract period of 12 months with a 12-month option to extend. We exercised the option to extend that contract with Reliance Graphics.
I think the only one left is the accreditation fee.
685. Authorized payment to New Jersey State Association of Chiefs. for the accreditation.
That is a one-time payment.
One time per year, or
The
for,
accreditation is whenever the accreditation is done.
is it done every year, or every 3 years, every 2 years?
It's really, I don't recall when the last one was done. It's usually 3 or 5 intervals when we do that, but I can get that information to you just to confirm.
Okay, I do recall seeing this same exact item less than a year ago.
We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, I'll get the
Okay.
information to you.
Good enough, thank you.
Anyone else in the public on any resolutions listed? Is there a motion to close?
Motion to close the public
Second.
portion?
Motion to close by Deputy Director Tenaro, seconded by Freeholder Capo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Kelso?
Yes, Field Director, I don't believe there's anyone who wishes to exclude from the agenda. If not, then a motion would be in order to adopt a consent agenda consisting of resolution number 17 17-585 through 17-686, excluding Resolution 17-614, which was voided.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Nara. Roll call?
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder
Yes.
Kenny? Freeholder Coppel? Freeholder Nara?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios?
Yes. At this time, I will open up the meeting to the public on anything anybody wants to speak on. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Ron Waitsman. I live at 62 Hardwick Drive in Kendall Park. I'm a resident of South Brunswick Township and Princeton Manor, an adult 55-plus community. Princeton Manor has 349 single homes and 722 residents. I'm the president of the Princeton Manor Homeowners Association. The entrance to our community is directly across and less than 1/2 mile from the proposed gas compressor station 206. This compressor station is part of the Northeast Supply Enhancement Project being proposed by Williams Transcontinental Gas Pipeline Company. An application has been filed by Williams with FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. The implications of having this type of facility within 1/2 mile of our community are tremendous. The quality of our lives will be significantly affected if this station were to be constructed in the proposed location. If built, this station will expose us to toxic chemicals being released into the air, compromise the quality of drinking water, and create constant noise which will increase to an extremely loud level during blowdowns. In addition, this site is uniquely inappropriate, not just because of what I have already mentioned, but also because it is at the headwaters of Carter's Brook, which flows into protected wetlands and is one of the largest sources of fresh drinking water in New Jersey. It is immediately adjacent to a toxic Superfund site, which is still in the process of being detoxified. Also, it lacks adequate water resources and pressure to combat a fire. And if this was not enough, it is next to an active blasting site, trapped rock quarries. The potential safety hazards are significant, resulting from a potential explosion or event caused by either human error or equipment malfunctions. Also, if an event creates an oil spill on the site, the groundwater could easily be contaminated. The only exit from our community is in the direction of this station, and we are downwind from the station, so fumes, fires, etc. will move rapidly to our only exit and therefore hamper any evacuation efforts. The location of this compressor station could ultimately cause a significant decrease in our property values, thus making our investments in our homes decline so drastically that many of us will lose a substantial amount of money. In that event, it will also decrease the tax base of our homes, and therefore decrease revenues for Middlesex County, South Brunswick Township, and South Brunswick schools. Our township and the surrounding townships have all passed resolutions and sent letters opposing the construction of this compressor station in its proposed location. All of our state representatives have joined us in opposing the location of this station. Our congresswomen and senators have also gone on record in opposition to this project. I have a copy of that letter that was sent from all these officials in February to FERC. I now ask anyone here from Princeton Manor or others who oppose this project, please stand. The 722 voting residents of Princeton Manor and our fellow residents in communities which surround us in Middlesex County strongly urge you, as our elected representatives to our county government, to join all our other elected officials to oppose the construction of this compressor station 206 in its proposed location.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public that would like to speak?
Members of the board, Deputy Director and Mr. Director. My name is Junior Romero with Food and Water Watch. We're an environmental nonprofit. Last time we had the opportunity to speak during your business session, and we appreciate the opportunity. Franklin Delano Roosevelt once said that, I totally agree with you, but now I want you to go out and get me to support it. So we have the public here, people from 4 different counties, many of them from Middlesex County, that are opposing this project, the Northeast Supply Enhancement Project. It's not just a compressor station, even though the compressor station is going to emit carcinogenics like benzene into the surrounding areas where there's, residential areas where there's over 12.5 schools, hospitals, parks. All that benzene is not only going to go through Somerset County, but it's also going to affect South Brunswick and Kendall Park and other communities that are in Middlesex County. The other part of this project, and that, by the way, is a 32,000 horsepower engine that is going to run 24 hours a day, exhausting carcinogenics all the time. And they're only going to have 2 full-time staffers that work 8 hours a day. What's going to happen with the other 3 hours? The other part of this project is an extension of a gas pipeline, 26-inch diameter pipelines, pretty big. And go through Old Bridge, Sayreville, and South Amboy. It's going to be very close to the Madison Park developments, very, very close to Madison Park Elementary School, St. Bernard's Catholic Church. It's going to go through the Garden State Parkway, and then it's 26 miles of pipeline through the Raritan Bay. If there was just the construction of this would disrupt Bayshore tourism, recreational activities. This is Middlesex County communities that rely on these economies. So today we're urging the members of the board to if you want to pass a resolution to the next meeting, that would be awesome. But right now, the deadline to intervene is April 27th. This is going to be the last meeting before the deadline to intervene. Intervening with FERC just means that the county has a stake. The county has a stake in this project, which it does. And FERC has never seen a pipeline that it does not like. So we cannot rely on the federal government on this. We have a governor who has never seen a pipeline that he doesn't like, and he won't be out by the time the time to intervene comes. So if we don't have the federal government, we don't have the state government, what's next? Our county government, and that's each of you. Y'all have been champions on advocating against fracking waste and fracking in the county. Now it's time to ban fracking infrastructure that is going to destroy our environment. It's going to harm the residents here, allies in the environmental movement, in your communities. We urge each of you to intervene now and pass a resolution if the board is not willing to pass a resolution today for the next meeting. And I definitely urge my colleagues, my friends, folks who we've been fighting this battle for the past 6 months to come and speak and show your voices. This is the time to talk. So come and speak. You see the over 3-4 dozen of us that are against this project. So I just urge the board to listen to the residents and take action on this pipeline before it's too late. Thank you. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Gary Frederick. I'm with the New Jersey Sierra Club. I do live here in Edison, 107 George Avenue. I just wanted to build on the comments that Junior had made. We're here to urge you to join the townships of South Brunswick, Franklin, and Montgomery in formally opposing the Northeast Supply Enhancement Project and the 32,000 horsepower gas compressor station. As was mentioned, this pipeline is going to snake through 3.5 miles in Middlesex County. It's a 26-inch pipeline before it then enters Raritan Bay. It's going to be very close to homes, very close to businesses, very close to schools. As it travels under Raritan Bay, it's going to go across sensitive seabeds to a terminal in Queens to supply New York City's grid with power. This project is not going to benefit New Jersey. It's not going to benefit Middlesex County, but we're going to assume all the risks of this project should something happen. And it should be noted that compressor stations do leak. They're not monitored very adequately, but it's been well documented that they do leak. Pipelines do leak. They leak methane. That isn't monitored very well either, but we're very much in the danger zone for that. This pipeline is going to connect to the Transco pipeline, which is over 10,000 miles of pipe, which starts in Texas. Much of that pipe is over 50 years old. including the sections that this project is connected to. With the compressor station boosting the pressure to 800 pounds per square inch, there's a lot of gas, very high pressure going through these lines right through our neighborhood. I lived in Edison when Durham Woods exploded in 1993. That's 4 miles from my house. And it happened about 11:30 at night, and my house shook from 4 miles away. It shook. I could see the flames above the trees. I thought it was down the block. That's how tall the flames were, and it was 4 miles away. 1,500 people were evacuated that night. 100 were left homeless, and 1 died of a heart attack. So that was 25 years ago, and since then, our population has grown. Areas have become more condensed. We have more people, more schools, more roads, more vital transportation links. An explosion today would quickly overwhelm our local services and their ability to respond. At the site of the compressor station, they don't even have adequate water pressure to fight such a fire. And the compressor station will be staffed by people only during business hours. There won't be anybody there overnight. So New Jersey itself has more than 1,500 miles of pipelines. We don't need another one creeping through Middlesex County. And it's not a matter of having Williams relocate this pipeline or to fix the deficiencies in their application. We just don't want this pipeline, period. So we're urging you to please join our neighboring townships in formally adopting a resolution opposing this.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Darrell Kipnis. I'm a resident of 16 Lakeside Road, Somerset, New Jersey, in Franklin Township. Good evening, members of the Board of Freeholders and members of the public. I am a Republican candidate for the New Jersey State Senate for the 17th Legislative District. I came out today in support of all of the residents of Franklin Township and South Brunswick and the communities that are going to be affected by this proposed pipeline. I want to let everyone know this is not a partisan issue. This is a human issue. And if you look at where this thing is going to go, if you look at where this thing is going to go, it's going in an area that's dangerously close to where so many residents live very close together. People have expectations when they buy a house. It's the most significant investment they may make in their life. And one of the things that they imagine when they buy a house is that a dangerous gas compressor isn't going to be built right next to it. That wasn't contemplated by anybody that bought a house in the areas that are going to be affected. And this particular station will provide absolutely no value, as Mr. Fredericks said, to the state of New Jersey or to the county of Middlesex, to the county of Somerset, or any residents. It would not even service a single New Jersey customer. They said they would only employ 2 people at this location. You know, that's hardly making a dent in the significant unemployment ranks that we have to address at every possible level. But this project is something that can't happen. We have so many people out there. I have seen people organize on a level for this, opposing this project on a level that I have not seen for anything else in this area. I want to make sure that I'm here to be a voice for all the people, whether they're in my district or outside of my district, because what if it were you? This thing can't happen. I urge the Board of Freeholders to adopt a resolution in line with the towns that would be affected by this project, opposing it. And I urge everybody, as was mentioned before, if you have not registered to become an intervener with FERC, there is a deadline until April 27th at 5 p.m. To get your voice officially heard before the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Any of the folks that are here in opposition to the project can supply you with information as well. I also supplied a link to how to do that on my own campaign page on Facebook. But we're all united here together. We're here to let the Board of Freeholders know that we do not want this thing to happen. We want to put New Jersey first. This does not put New Jersey first. Thank you.
I'm Donna Summers. I live at 19 Shelley Drive in Franklin Township, and I also own property in Kendall Park, which is right off 27. I'm here to speak for the people of the Franklin area, as well as South Brunswick and all the areas that are close by where this station is supposed to be put. I'm very concerned about the benzene, having had a father who had bone marrow failure disease, which is, benzene is one of the they think is a cause of bone marrow failure. It's a very serious illness, and I don't want to ever see anybody else get it. for pipelines that we really don't need. We're all tired of pipelines. We want renewable energy in New Jersey. We have to move forward, not backwards. I'm also here as a voice for the neighborhood where I grew up in Old Bridge. I grew up in Madison Park, and I didn't even know that Madison Park had any connection with this pipeline, with the compressor. I originally came here to voice my concern about the compressor. When I heard that the pipelines were going to go through areas of Sayreville and Middlesex County, where I grew up, and Madison Park, and close by the Madison Park Elementary School, I honestly couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I was speechless. It's just stupid. And we're all concerned about the environment and the health of our families. And as a realtor, I'm concerned for everybody's property values. I know that Griggstown relies on well water, most of the homes there. And I think water, as we all know, is an important resource that you just can't replace once it's gone. So I'm hoping that you guys will help. I'm glad that Darryl came. I'm glad that everybody came to voice their concern about these pipelines and the gas compressor station. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Harsh Bhargav. I live at 41 Andover Drive, Kendall Park, and a lot of important technical reasons why the compressor shouldn't be there has been already mentioned by Ron and others. The environmental reason, the fact that it is next to an active blasting site. They've all been well laid out. There's all records of that. I want to bring out just one point here, and I won't make it too long because I know there are a lot of people who want to say that and you want to go home too. So here's what I have to say. I think Middlesex can be very proud of the fact that it is a very diverse community, encouraging diversity and benefiting from diversity. Right next to this site is one of the most beautiful Buddha meditation center on a 3-acre land. And if you haven't been there, I urge you to go and see this beautiful, the largest statue of Buddha, which has become a kind of a tourist spot. And we have encouraged both religious tolerance, and our Constitution encourages secularism. But at this site, they are building a huge meditation center, which has been going on. The planning of that started many years ago. Can you believe if there is a rumbling going on, which is like a refrigerator in your room, how these people that have made New Jersey, Middlesex their home, how can they practice their meditation, which is the essence of their religion? So there's one more reason, and I'm happy to say this is a diverse community here, and I hope you will continue to pay respect to diversity, to encourage other people to make it a home here. And for the sake of all the safety reasons, and for the sake of a large Buddhist community that's made its home right next to the proposed site, that you will please pass a resolution, a strong resolution opposing this compressor station. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brian Lee. I'm from Franklin Township. I have a couple of questions. Did all the freeholders receive information about becoming an intervener in this project? We brought this up at last meeting. I believe New Jersey Food and Water Watch has been in contact with you guys. Did you all receive information on it?
I received an email from Junior.
Okay. Did you guys consider putting a resolution to become interveners on the agenda for this meeting?
No.
And if not, why?
We, as I mentioned to Junior Romero?
Romero, yes.
That we are still studying it.
Okay, and once again, as everybody else said, the deadline to become interveners is next Thursday. And okay, my second question is, would you be able to vote on a resolution to intervene and oppose this pipeline at this current meeting?
We don't have it on the agenda, and we won't put it on the agenda.
Okay, and when is the soonest that you can vote on this resolution after this meeting then?
Our next opportunity to vote on any resolution will be at our next meeting.
When, do you know when that is?
It's in 2 weeks, I believe. I think.
Nope, I don't know,
May
it'll be
4th.
too late.
I'm sorry?
May 4th.
May 4th.
I don't know, it'll be too late. And on a completely different topic, what powers do you have you might have heard that ICE has been detaining, immigrants right in this courthouse. Do you guys have any power to protect immigrants coming to this courthouse?
I'm going to refer that answer to council.
Okay.
The courthouse and the court system is run by the state, not by the county. And I know we're aware of the fact that the Chief Justice has come out with a statement with regard to protecting people that are in the courthouse for whatever reason, whether they're there for criminal matters or non-criminal matters. And again, the issue for the freeholders is we don't have control over the court system. So those kind of the questions and issues associated with that are better directed to the Office of the Courts.
Okay, and I'll just leave you with this comment. There may be other periods to become an intervener coming up. I would urge this council to please study the issue as much as you need to, because becoming an intervener it's like registering to vote. If you don't become an intervener, you don't get an official say in the application process. By becoming an intervener, you don't have to commit to anything, but you can request studies, you can make comments, and as the Middlesex County Board of Freeholders, you would have a little more power than just a little more sway than just individuals and even some other organizations. So please study it.
Thank you. State your name and address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
Thank you. My name is Patty Kronheim, and I'm with Rethink Energy New Jersey. I live in Hopewell Township. I'm also on the board of the Stony Brook Millstone Watershed Association. So I'm wearing a couple of hats tonight. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. First and foremost, I just want to, for the record, say I live not too far from a current Williams compressor station number 205 in Lawrence Township. And I know people, I have friends who live near that compressor station and have experienced noisy, loud blowdowns that sound like jet engines, children with unexplained nosebleeds, having to evacuate their home because the smell of methane was so strong, having to wait 8 days before Transco responds to their emergency number when there was a loud noise and they didn't hear from them back literally for 8 days. And I've read a letter that this woman has written, and she has me read oftentimes, but those are sort of just the lowlights of what life can be like near a Williams compressor station, which is left unmanned every evening, and this would be the same. Now that's an electric-powered compressor station. This would be a gas-powered compressor station because PSE&G doesn't want to run the lines to them. They can't get electric to it, which is not even state-of-the-art for a compressor station. All right, so this is the dirtiest kind of compressor station you can build is gas-powered to provide the 3,200 horsepower required to run it. I want to just point out 2 issues: health and safety. Unfortunately, today the American Lung Association report card came out, and 11 counties in New Jersey received Fs, and among them Middlesex County, unfortunately, is one of them. My county of Mercer County is also one. And I know we're all trying to clean up our air and our water. However, adding a compressor station is going the wrong direction for us. As you well know, the area of the compressor station is already an ozone non-attainment area. And that area in particular also has the second highest asthma rates in the state of New Jersey. Now, it's been mentioned that the gases that come out of compressor stations pretty regularly, it's in the methane, it's benzene, formaldehyde, and all of the volatile organic compounds, as well as the fine particulate matter, which is like a delivery system, so that these chemicals can go in the bloodstream and cause things like childhood leukemia, asthma, neurological issues like autism, endocrine dysfunction, the list goes on, increased risk of stroke, increased incident of heart attacks. So the very young and the oldest, the most vulnerable in our population of your citizenry in Middlesex County would be the most impacted by this compressor station. In terms of safety, it's been mentioned that there isn't adequate water to put out a fire, there's inadequate pressure. I've heard firemen from Franklin Township, South Brunswick, get up and speak about this in meetings. I know that the Princeton Manor, as you know, only has one entrance and egress from the facility, and it would be right into the flames if there were an explosion. So the risk of explosion or compressor station, just to give you an idea, would be about around along the pipeline, it would be about 60 gallons per second of a fire if this pipeline of this size and magnitude were to burst. And you can't put it out, they just have to wait for it to burn out. And with all the surrounding greenery and the road, and you've got 27, this would be a nightmare, just a complete nightmare in this highly populated area, as it is in just about any place where these very dirty fossil fuel infrastructure projects are built. Safety, also something that needs to be considered, is that we have 1,500 miles of interstate pipeline in the state of New Jersey. A lot of this pipeline is older. A lot of the wells, and that's with a D, not wells, wells that go along the pipelines are what they call vintage wells. And when you have aging pipeline and vintage wells, and you increase the velocity of gas through these aging pipelines, you're increasing the temperature. All right, that's what happens when you increase velocity, you get increased temperature, for those of you who studied physics. And when you increase temperature, you increase chemical rates. So corrosion speeds up. And to give you an example, we're about approaching a year anniversary of a very unfortunate accident that happened with the Texas Eastern pipeline in Salem County, Pennsylvania last year, where a pipeline of comparable size exploded. They had, Spectra, which was the company, had inspected these lines a year previous, found a little bit of corrosion, but said, okay, we're going to inspect them again in another 4 years, not a problem. After the pipeline explosion, they went, of course, and had to do an investigatory report on this, and they found an unprecedented rate of explosion. They couldn't, corrosion. They couldn't understand why had these lines rusted out and corroded so quickly. Well, it turns out, gee, it was downstream of a new compressor station. We've discovered a disproportionate amount of explosions that are very close, within 4 miles of new compression. So New Jersey is at risk of becoming a giant safety experiment with all of this increase in volume. And I'm letting you know, between the Penny's pipeline and the Leidy line and this new volume of gas, New Jersey is just about doubling the amount of gas that comes through the state. So this is something you all need to be very concerned about. And just wanted to say, just in terms of being an intervener, and I know I'm done, I'm sorry.
Time is up?
Yes.
Just
Time is up now.
Interveners, Mercer County's intervened, Hunterdon County, it's just a placeholder. Please do that.
Thank
You
you
can
for
do it
your
out of time,
comments.
it's harder.
State your name and address. You have 5 minutes.
Yeah, my name is Louis Gould. I live at 25 Andover Drive in Kendall Park in the Princeton Manor Complex, right opposite this side. And I would venture a guess that not one person in this room is in favor of this station. I would ask any of the freeholders, with all respect, if they are in favor, if any one of you are in favor of this station, would you want to live near this station? I'll take that as a no from everybody. Is there anybody in this room, any freeholder in this room, who lives near this station?
I know.
Help us. Help us. Call a special meeting right now. You're all here. Call a special meeting. This is bad. This is bad. Go on YouTube. You see testimonials from people who live next to these stations. It's an abomination. It's like living next to a freight train that runs 24 hours a day. Gentlemen, ladies, help us, please.
Travolta. I'm from 2 Dutchess Court, Mattawa, New Jersey. I'm actually a resident of Old Bridge, just a Mattawa mailing address. I have one question and a second, depending on the answer of the first for Director. Are you saying that you cannot or will not make a motion here in this meeting to write a resolution and vote on it for condemning the building of this pipeline through Middlesex County?
I will not put up a resolution in favor or against of this pipeline or this compressor.
Is there no other freeholders that are willing to make a motion to write a resolution here at this meeting against this pipeline going through Middlesex County?
The meeting goes through the chair, which is me, and as I stated before, that we will not put up a vote for a resolution in favor or against the compressor station.
But so are you saying that it's wrong or illegal not to make a motion to condemn the pipeline going through Middlesex County?
What I'm saying is we're not going to put it up for a vote tonight.
Why? How about for other freeholders? Does anybody want to make a motion? Everyone has a right to make a motion, unless I'm not correct about that. Any freeholder can make a motion. I'm asking, does any freeholder want to make a motion to write a resolution and vote on it tonight before the April 27th deadline?
Yeah.
That's 4.
How about my one right home?
This is irresponsible. This is absolutely irresponsible.
You're out of order, ma'am. If you want to say something, you can come up to the microphone, and you have 5 minutes.
Well, I just have a comment. Obviously, you're not against it, because if you are, one of you would have just made a motion right now and someone would have seconded it. All right, but I don't know what the agenda is with this group. I really wish you would make a motion tonight. Everybody wants to see a motion. You have, I think I can probably say 90% in here are clapping. So they obviously want to see action taken tonight. Okay, one of you can throw a motion and a second and do a vote to write up a resolution right now in this meeting and vote on that resolution.
Lon McLean, 19 Fordham Court, Kendall Park. I've been neutral through the whole process at all the meetings. It comes to my attention that there's something that we all need to pay attention to, and it's for all the people that are not here tonight, that don't vote, and that's the children. Whether they take option A, B, C, down the alphabet, the formaldehyde, the benzene, and the xylene, and the rest of the garbage that's going to be placed in the air under the prevailing winds, west to east, will wind up on the soccer fields, lacrosse field, football field, track and field at South Brunswick High School, which is by the Crow, 1.8 miles, depending on which option is laid out for construction. It's progress, but in this case, it's deterioration for the undefended little people who have yet to vote. They are the voters. That's why I'm here, for the ones that can't vote. I understand your position, Director, but public service, from my information, has backed out of this. You should ask yourself why, and think about all the kids. There's 3,000 students in that high school, and there's going to be more by the time this is put together. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Nadine Wilkins, and I live at 32 Montrose Road in Somerset, New Jersey, in Franklin Township. And I just wanted to speak up because I'm a mom. I have 3 young children right now with asthma, and I'm really concerned about the long-term health implications of this compressor station. Now, I had no, I didn't have a plan to come up and speak, had nothing, written down to share with you guys, but I can say this. I understand you can't pass a resolution to vote on whether or not you're going to vote for or against the compressor station, but what's in every single person's control in this room today is to become an intervener. Whether or not you are for or against, when you're an intervener, you have an opportunity to have a say in what will happen. If you do not personally intervene, then you have no say in what's going to happen long term. So I would urge everyone to do that. Another thing that I would like to see happen is some type of Board of Health hearing to discuss the long-term implications of this. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I strongly urge every single person, you guys are our elected officials, to consider becoming an intervener prior to the deadline. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laura Transu. I'm from South Brunswick, and I was born and raised in Middlesex County. I wasn't really planning on speaking tonight, but I wanted to bring up two more points that, in addition to what my colleagues have brought up. I'm speaking as a young person in the state, in the county. Right now, the future looks really uncertain for people my age. We're not sure where it's safe to build our future, where it's safe to build our homes, whether it's safe to have families, and just the idea that we are continuing to support fossil fuel infrastructure just really shows that the people who are leading this country, people who are leading this state, don't care about the future generations, because fossil fuels are the past. Future if they are the future. So we really need to take seriously whether we want to continue supporting fossil fuel infrastructure investments in our state, because that's really showing people of my generation how much people of older generations care. And secondly, I also want to urge you to consider whether we're being good neighbors in this process, because this affects our county, but this affects the other counties around us. As you can see, a lot of different towns and counties have come together on this. And then also whether we're being good neighbors to other states around us. It's great if we pass resolutions and come out against fracking, but it doesn't really mean much if we're supporting the infrastructure coming through New Jersey and facilitating people being hurt in Pennsylvania and upstate New York. So I would urge you to really consider these things and consider where you're leading the county and how you can influence other people who are leaders in the state, and really take a lead on securing the future for people like me and my children. Thanks.
My name is Janice Bazowski. I live at 164 Kendall Road in Kendall Park, New Jersey. I would second everything that everyone has said. I live about between 5 and 8 miles from Track Rock Quarry. And when they set off an explosion at the quarry, my house shakes 5 to 8 miles away. I can't imagine having a gas compressor right next door. Yeah. Beyond that, allowing this natural gas infrastructure to go through is helping only Williams and Transeco. It is not helping anyone in the state of New Jersey. It is not needed, and yet we are going to pay, because we are going to have to pay to up our infrastructure. We're going to have to pay to up our fire departments. We're going to have to pay to up our water supply systems in the event of an accident. We're going to have to pay to up our emergency services. Within the schools that I worked in, we had lockdown and shelter-in-place drills for years. We're going to have to up the game there. So this county is going to end up paying a lot of money, and I know you guys struggle with how to use the resources that you have for the most benefit of the most people in this county. You are increasing, by approving and going along with the flow and not becoming interveners, you are increasing the financial struggles that you are going to have in the future. And God forbid there is an accident. When it's too late, what are you going to say to the surrounding communities when they have homes and lives destroyed? It's about the money. It's going to Oklahoma. It's not helping us at all.
gentlemen.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Jitu Royal, 234 Cleveland Lane, South Brunswick. And I came in here for another reason, actually, not for this at all. And looking at what they were talking, it was totally something not related to this issue. But when I got to know what it is what you see crowd in here, probably about 100, 150 people. This is a County of Middlesex meeting. And we had in South Brunswick Township, in Mayor's office, over 600. And this is nothing. And they have every right to know. Everybody has come in here, they need to know what the board has decided. What you have an answer, yes or a no, or you're going to intervene. And it's very important. I mean, by nodding a head like yes, no, maybe not, is not solving anybody's issue. At least you should put, you as a group together, put an effort. Whether it's a no or a yes, either one of them they're going to take it, because they got to take it. But saying maybe is not the answer. In the sense, people want to know, they have every right to know what the board has decided. If the board wants to go forward, why this was not put in today's meeting, that's immaterial, past is gone. They're looking forward, what can be done before the 27th? Don't you think that these people have the right to know? Yeah. From the board. Yeah. Everybody has the right to know. And we as citizens, we have the right to know what the county is going to do, what the county has decided. If you want to have a closed door meeting to decide and come up to some agreement, we are ready for it. Because we don't want to waste anybody's time. Everybody has to go to work tomorrow. And we, at least you as a chair, you have to decide that you have to sit with the people and decide how we're going to proceed.
I'll say it again, we haven't made a determination one way or the other on this issue.
Yeah, but is this something related political issue, or is something that wasn't put in at the time when this meeting was called in for today? Or was there an issue that why this was not put in today's agenda?
As I mentioned to Junior on my conversation with him, I wasn't at the last meeting, and we are still studying it to make an informed decision, one way or the other.
But you're going to put it in the meeting. You're going to put it in the meeting.
I don't know if we're going to list a resolution in opposition or in favor of it. Sometimes we don't do resolutions.
There's a reason
when there's
why
an agency that's outside of the hands of the Freeholder Board, whether it be a state or federal agency, sometimes we don't pass a resolution in favor or against.
They're all the county residents. All people up in Middlesex County are here. I mean, we all live in Middlesex County, one of the best counties in the state of New Jersey. I've lived here for 30 years, and I'm very proud of what I'm a Middlesex County guy. And you know, this is something, it is unacceptable because of a lot of kids, a lot of schools, a lot of things are there in that neighborhood. At least you should at least make an effort to put forth that whatever the board can do. Tomorrow people will start losing trust in people who are going to stand for elections. So do I have to go vote for this gentleman or vote for him who hasn't done anything for the people? It is something in your hands that you have to decide. And these guys have right to know what it is.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Cassie Greeley from 717 River Road in Piscataway, New Jersey. And I couldn't come here any earlier, so I didn't know what everybody said, so I asked if anybody spoke about Putin. And I want
Speak loud, if you could speak a little louder, please, or...
Putin, no, about Vladimir. The thing is that, I go back to history all the time. In history, the Koch brothers' father is the one who started all of this thing with fracking in Russia. Putin knows that. That was in the 20s. It has been continuing over there. Putin wants fracking because he knows the history of it. And he wants it because he also can help China have it. They don't care about people. That makes them different from a democratic process, Republican democratic process. We all want people. People want to come here. You have a problem with what it's called immigration, although the majority of us we were chosen or taken as not called immigrants sometimes. But the important thing that I want you to understand is that there is going to be a fight right here of power people, but the people who are going to be hit hard are going to be the people that other people have spoken about. The people who are here now and the people who are coming up, and the people who haven't been yet born. Because this stuff stays in the system, in the atmosphere, in the ground, and in the waters for generations. And I agree with what you said. They're all the way up the line of government process. But everybody needs their lower level, if you will, and they're not lower people. That starts in their town and in your county. And the county and the town do make an influence on the state. And the states as regions do. And there are several states, and one close enough to us is Maryland, who doesn't want any of this. So I would suggest that we all take a look at our national views from state to state kind of routine, because as freeholders, we're closer to the truth and closer to the decision. Thank you.
Good evening once again, Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick. I came here for a very important issue, but I want to start by saying it's great to see so many people coming out here and speaking so eloquently. I echo everything they say, and I stand with them. And gosh, if I were in your seat, I would say, Mr. Kelso, start writing, somebody make a motion, and let's get this done tonight. I actually have some stuff to share with you, and this should be enough for all you guys. I'll give mine to her. So it's 4 pages. Take the 4 pages and pass it down. While you're looking at that, I do have a question for you. I'd like to hear from every freeholder whether you think or do you support the impeachment of Chris Christie, Donald Trump, both or neither?
I'm not going to answer that question.
You don't think it's a valid question, an important question?
I have my own political, personal reasons that I don't think is fair to make those comments here as far as my political philosophy or thoughts on those two individuals. So I'm not going to answer that question.
And your colleagues brave enough to answer?
It goes to the chair. So.
Okay, fine.
Next question.
Well, I came here because this is a serious concern for undocumented immigrants in this country. They can't rest easy saying, we'll wait till the next governor, because Governor Christie is the governor and Donald Trump is the president. And this is a toxic, dangerous situation that cannot be allowed to continue. And here's what's happening. This happened this morning in New Brunswick. I wrote an email to ICE. I asked if ICE had detained someone this morning in Sanford Street, New Brunswick. I said, please, this is what I always do when I hear about a crime. I say, please identify who was arrested and the reasons for the arrest. Here's the response. Charlie, ICE did conduct a targeted enforcement action in New Brunswick today. As per DHS privacy policy, unless you have a name, I cannot confirm who we took into custody. This is Gestapo stuff. This is secret police. This is not American. This is un-American. You should not be letting it happen. I was super shocked to read Justice Ravner's letter, which you have a copy of and was referenced earlier tonight, because I followed up with the Middlesex County, I followed up with the court here, and was informed that yes, March 31st at 2:30 p.m., ICE arrested someone in a holding area of the courthouse. Well, guess what? The Middlesex County Sheriff has not been coming to these meetings for a long time, and she has some explaining to do. She needs to come here and explain what the policy is for dealing with federal armed agents that want to come in and snatch people up out of the courthouses. This is not American. This should not be allowed. And I want to know, did the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office assist in this ICE action? Do they have any policies as to whether they do or don't do that? Were those policies followed? She can also answer all the other scandals that she's been hiding from. But the thing that I really want her to also answer is whether or not the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office was involved in the Sanford Street arrest this morning. I have not gotten confirmation, but several witnesses have told us that they saw sheriff's officers at the scene. So now that that allegation has been made, I want to hear from all the freeholders as to whether or not you think this is a sanctuary, this county is a sanctuary or not. It's up to you. What is your opinion, and when will the sheriff explain herself for this stuff?
Well, did you ask the sheriff herself these questions?
She's been dodging me for almost a month now, because I asked her about her undersheriff and the warrant at his house that he... Listen,
you want me to answer your question?
you're answering my question by asking me questions.
Did you ask the sheriff these questions today?
When was the last time the sheriff's been at one of these meetings?
You're answering a question with a question.
I am, aren't I? Where's the
You know
sheriff?
what?
She's an elected official.
If you were so concerned,
She's been hiding from me.
and if it
She's
was
hiding.
true and genuine, you should have asked the sheriff. You know the sheriff is a constitutional officer.
Where do you stand,
And
sir?
we
Where do you
do
stand?
not,
Is this a sanctuary
we do
or
not
not?
answer or dictate policy to the sheriff. You know that.
Do the sheriffs work with ICE or not? They have a policy. What's the policy? Do you care?
You have to ask the sheriff. I don't know that. I don't know that. Sheriff dictates policy in her department.
Can you have the sheriff, please? Can you ask the sheriff to show up at the next meeting?
I
and
can't
speak about
demand
these-
her to show up at the meeting.
I said ask. Could you just
I
ask
could
her?
ask her.
Could you please? You're a running mate. You're in the same party. You've known each other for years. She's a former colleague. She's been on this board. Can you please ask her to start showing up at the meetings?
I'll ask her.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Hi, my name is Jessie Lindsay. I live on 255 Burger Street in Somerset. I grew up in Middlesex County in Edison. My family is still there, so I'm concerned about my family. I'm also concerned about the Raritan Bay. I'm an ecologist at heart. I drive an electric car. I have solar panels. I think everyone should. And I'm wondering, Republicans are raging terror on the EPA. And Middlesex County has big environmental problems, none of which I have seen yet to be taken care of. I can still go down my street, Dorothy Avenue, and look at that brook, and it's still got gasoline going through it. For years, we let the Ford plant just spill paint into it. So I look at you, and you're the Democrats, and for years, you haven't done anything. You let Edison overdevelop, wild habitat destroyed, no planning for highways or school taxes. You're a big town now. Don't wait till November 18th to ask your voters in Edison to re-elect you. Don't think there's going to be a backlash because of the Republicans. If this pipeline, and this is too late, April 27th, I understand why you can't pass a resolution, but I think it's sad that you haven't told your people about this pipeline. Because it is going to ruin her family. What are those people going to think? They're a Democratic hold right there in Perth Amboy. So you guys are really in trouble if you don't pass a resolution, make a statement, because all of your voters are going to be watching this. And don't think they're just going to hit that button. So yes, and that pipeline is probably going to go into the poorest neighborhoods, because it's the poor neighborhoods, the people that can't defend themselves, the children. So for once in your lives, do something. Show your party that you're not going to be the same as Trump and the rest of them. Do something for a change. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Brian Langiel. I live at 1 Talcott Court in Princeton Manor, right practically across the street from where this new construction is going to be. And I can tell you, I've been living here 10 years. I feel it every week when that quarry blasts. My house, like the other woman, I'm much closer. My house shakes like you can't believe. I can't imagine what it will do to that structure over there. You know, we live in a time of uncertainty. We live in a time when many of us citizens feel like we don't have a voice. You're our voice. You're our elected officials. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm a registered Democrat and I've been voting for more years than some of you have been alive. And this apathy that I'm seeing, when I look from the back of the room, it just boggles my mind. You know, everybody believes that it's the billionaires and the corporations that run this world we live in. We used to call it a democracy. But it's the billionaires and the corporations. I know firsthand what these corporations are like. No humanity in them at all. They just think of people as head count. they don't think of people at all as human beings. They feel, and if some corporation, like a huge corporation like Williams Transco, just come in and build a hazardous facility in the middle of a residential community in one of the most populous states in this country, your state, where does it stop? Where does it stop? I mean, these corporations, nobody's saying no. They are doing everything they want to do, and nobody's standing up to them. So when I see the apathy, when you say you might not vote for or against it, well, guess what? A no vote is just like a yes vote. You know, if you don't vote at all, yeah, there's no opposition. They'll just go ahead and build this thing. And we will be the people that pay for it. Okay? So make us feel like we have a voice again, please. I mean, you're our elected officials. You're supposed to represent our concerns as citizens and residents. Don't let us sit there looking at this apathy and this feeling like you're not going to do a thing to protect us. Please.
Good evening. Linda Powell, 22 Buffer Drive, Franklin Township, Somerset. I was kind of surprised because I know this resolution, you have a packet that was given to you by Junior from Food and Water Watch. It includes this flyer, which has a link to be interveners, which you can do as individuals. It includes detailed instructions on how to intervene, which I followed, and I'm a technophobe, and I was able to sign up on the website. And it also contains a resolution, which was previously emailed, and I was kind of surprised to realize that it was not on the agenda this evening, because I was mistakenly thought that it would be on the agenda. But this part of the intervening process is to have any input into what goes into the draft environmental impact statement at FERC. And as people probably know, FERC is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, which is a commission, I believe they're down to 2 commissioners at this point. There's supposed to be 5, and they're funded by the oil and gas industry. So they're really looked at as a rubber stamp. What Williams Transco, when it was failing financially and their board members were quitting, proposed to do in the state as one of their projects was to take this frack gas, which has all these toxic chemicals and a lot of things that Patty Kronheim from Rethink Energy and Jay already spoke about, and pump it through these old aging pipes with wells that had no regulation when they were put in, and put in an extension of pipeline through Middlesex County out through the bay. One of our research team members basically said that this project, the Northeast Supply, can you hear me? Mm-hmm. The Northeast Supply Enhancement Project would, which we refer to as NESE, N-E-S-E, will disrupt and damage 14,156 acres offshore and 556 acres onshore. The plan includes 2 50-foot smokestacks with exhaust temperatures of this toxic chemicals, methane, which is a huge, has a huge impact on climate change, known carcinogens, at least 25 various chemicals, radioactive material, and a small particulate matter, which causes lung disease and gets into the system. At 842 degrees Fahrenheit, which of course will affect anything that's flying by and fry it, and will emit 3,500 cubic feet per hour, which includes 13 pounds of carbon monoxide per hour, as well as the other toxic and radioactive chemicals that will threaten our health, air, water, and land. One of I had mentioned at the last meeting, which the chairman, you weren't at, that we talked about some of the short-term and long-term health hazards, and I'll just mention a few, including asthma, other lung diseases, birth defect, developmental delays, cancers, heart disease, and strokes. And these have all been studied and documented by various physicians and environmentalists. I think someone already referred to the fact that an article came out today that said New Jersey has among the nation's worst air, according to the American Lung Association. This is going to be spewing hundreds of tons of pollutants into our air. And I don't understand why we would allow anyone to do that. The other thing, in terms of the impact, is that over 25 schools are in the area of the proposed compressor station. Majority of them are in South Brunswick. And for the pipeline, which is part of this Madison loop that they refer to it, there's a Dwight D. Eisenhower Elementary School that is 1/3 of a mile away. So even the construction of this would be contaminating these children. This is a school that has kindergarten through 3rd grade. It has 563 students. There are also 15 public schools in Old Bridge with almost 9,000 students, 7 public schools in Sayreville, which is over 6,000 students. And this does not include daycare or private schools. This is just public schools.
That's time.
Your time is up, ma'am. Thank you for your comments. State your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Okay, I won't even take that long. My name is Sue Winkler, and I'm from Cherry Street in Highland Park. And I have no intention of coming up. I have nothing prepared. I have no facts or figures or anything else. I just really implore you guys, I mean, listening to everybody come up here with all of that, it seems like a no-brainer, you know, like there's no benefit for the people in your community. And so I just really ask you to put politics aside and find your humanness again and look at what this will do to the humans in our community. And please really consider putting this through to stop this pipeline. That's it.
Good evening, I'm Sid Madison, I live in Piscataway. I'm a climate activist, and the point that I would make for you, just like FERC, your procedures do not allow you to do something, but you are allowed as individuals to take this sheet that Junior has sent to you and take action. The system is broken all the way from up at the federal government, all the way down here. It's not prepared to take care of this problem. And you've shown that tonight, but as individuals, you can do something about this, and we're asking you to do it as individuals. Thank you.
My name is Manije Saba. I live in 146 Emerson Road, Somerset, New Jersey. I have lived in I lived in Middlesex County for 20 years, and I've been living in Somerset for 17 years. And what I came here tonight to talk about was about this compressor station and the pipeline, 32 miles pipeline, which is carries hydraulic fracture gas. That, as I understand it, did you have a resolution against hydraulic fracturing? Have you had a resolution against hydraulic fracturing?
We passed a resolution on not accepting fracking waste in any byproducts that we purchase in reference to the brine that we use for snow removal.
Okay, that's great that you have that consciousness and did that. That's wonderful. Thank you for doing that. But you know what you are not paying attention to is the fracked gas that is going through these counties and through this state, which is dangerous to everybody. And everybody's so eloquently talking about all of this, and I don't want to repeat that. But I made a comment that this is irresponsible, and you addressed me, told me to come here. And the reason that I burst out, I come from a dictatorship. I have experienced 2 of them. And this behavior by this freeholders meeting, to me, you are irresponsible. You have to be responsive to the public. I don't know who are responding, maybe to your donors, I don't know. Democratic Party failed this country big time and has failed this country for a long time. I have been watching it as a sociologist. I've been watching what happened. I am not ashamed to say we have fascists in power in this country. And it's not hyperbole. What it is, we have generals in our administrations, we have finance capital that doesn't produce it. One worker that are running this country. We have a president who attacked the only organization in this country that is not governmental, and that's media, to stand between the public and the government in order to inform the public, and they are constantly being attacked. And then we have prejudice and racism that has started 2 years ago. We have all of that. And in face of all of that, seeing Democratic Party people who are supposed to be rethinking about who they are, what they do, what they have done to this country, to say that they don't do anything. I think it was 2 weeks ago that we came here and we gave you the information about this. And for 2 weeks you haven't even read this. And today I'm sitting here and you celebrate and appreciate the families have taken care of autistic children. And people came here and talked about autism, about asthma, about all sorts of other problems. But you can still look at the public and say, you're not going to think about it, you're not going to make any decision, yes or no, and that's it, it doesn't matter. We have only 5 days to go. We have only 6 days to go. And 2 of them are holidays. I cannot believe that. This is the Constitution, and that's why I get raged about this. I never thought I would be living in this country with this situation. I carry this Constitution every day wherever I go, and I stand for it wherever. And I'm willing, and actually I think it's up to all of us to stand up in this government, because we are in a very bad place, and I know it because I have lived dictatorship. Maybe at this time I will not get arrested, but I'm not sure in 10 years if I would not be arrested when I talk like this, unless we stand up and stop this train wreck that we are living under. And then we wonder why people hate us. Because we have been sleeping when they take us to war, they take our young people that have been raised properly to become criminals, and then they come with PTSD and we don't take care of them. And we just talk about them. Oh, we appreciate them. Pray for them. What pray did for 6 million Jews? What pray has done for anything for this country has been going down the drain for the past 40 years that I've been here. Please stop. Please take responsibility for people who go every day work and pay taxes for you to get paid. Respond to it. Stand up for what you promised them to do.
That's time.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Heather Fennick. I live at 54 Hassard Street.
Want to raise the mic up so we can hear you a little better?
Heather Fennick, at 54 Hassard Street, New Brunswick, New Jersey. I am one of the founders and the president of the Lower Raritan Watershed Partnership, a representative entity, a nonprofit 100% volunteer organization that spans most of Middlesex County, parts of Somerset County, parts of Union and Monmouth as well. I am also running for Assembly, representing Legislative District 17. I am running with the Central Jersey Democratic, Progressive Democratic ticket. We are a group of about 100 folks who have organized, in part because of the apathy of our elected leaders, on issues like the environment and sanctuary city status. Thank you. Right now, though, is everyone has spoken very eloquently about the political, economic, and social justice issues at stake with the pipeline. As a nonprofit president dedicated to bringing attention to issues of restoration of our watershed, restoration of our environment, particularly in an area where the legacy historic pollutants have really wreaked havoc on the area. It is truly egregious that we would consider adding to these legacy issues with additional surefire pollutants and contaminants. What I would like to ask all of you right now is, yet again, if any of you would be willing to stick your necks out and either sign on as an intervener or put your hand to paper to draft a resolution to oppose this pipeline in Middlesex County. I'll take that from all of you as a no. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Karen Paffendorf. I live at 70 Hardwick Drive in Kendall Park. I grew up in East Brunswick. I hadn't planned on talking tonight. I was planning on having Ron represent us as a group. He's a very fine speaker and organized person. But I see the inaction here, and I wanted to go on record as opposed to just being a person in the audience. I remember as a child, you drive up the turnpike, and I would literally puke because the air quality was so bad going up towards the airport with the refineries and stuff. I remember water being so filthy that you couldn't swim in it or be anywhere near it because you'd get sick. I see this as a thing that could be avoided, that we're moving away from natural gas. I don't have the statistics that were presented in the South Brunswick meeting, but I view this as something that is making our environment worse in a time when we have the technology to solve things in a better way. And I'm very disturbed by the fact that I perceive your inaction as supporting the company, as opposed, I would really like to see you guys step up and oppose it.
Is there a motion to close? Up. Please state your name and address.
My name is Vincent Macchio. I'm a resident of Perth Amboy, 215 Sheridan Street. I have a similar issue that I want to bring forward, and it involves fossil fuels. And I have to bring this, in Perth Amboy, there's a project that I believe the planning board in Middlesex County at least should look at, and look at the specifics in terms of how it's going to affect the community in Perth Amboy as well as Middlesex County. It's a project which connects the Arthur Kill with the Raritan Bay, and it's going to transport jet fuel diesel through pipeline, 16-foot pipeline going into the facility. And supposedly, the question I have is, what is this? Is this an expansion of the site? Is there going to be new tankers? Is there going to be new dangers? As far as the research that I've looked at, jet fuel has an influent which basically in a mixture context can be benzene. And this, from what I already heard tonight, is a cancer-causing substance. When I met, and a number of other people in Perth Amboy met with the company officials, I want you to know, all you freeholders, since you have a stake in this, you have, in terms of the investments you made in those two bridges, which are totally right next to these facilities on the Raritan Bay. I want you to consider on the planning stage, in your meetings, how you can risk this in terms of the dangers. When I ask questions at the meeting, access to the pipeline, how are you going to ensure access to the pipeline? The official said to me, these are all over the country. These pipelines are all over the country. Is that an answer to my question? How you are? Just for the audience information, or anybody want to consider, jet fuel and diesel has caused many fires and explosive events. Actually, an example is the Twin Towers. Jet fuel actually was in those airplanes and was part of the reason why the towers exploded. I asked another question in terms of that. I said, how are you going to start cleaning up the former Chevron plant, which is on the Arthur Kill in Perth Amboy? How are you going to start cleaning more of that area up? Right? My answer was, there's no problem. There was no problem in terms of that. And I don't know. As far as I know, the mayor of Perth Amboy is not asking these questions. And that is a problem. We need to get some answers. Going back to your situation on the bay, I mean, Perth Amboy has recently invested $17 million in restoring various parts that were destroyed by Hurricane Sandy. Perth Amboy in 2012 received one of the greatest, I think, awards, Great Places to Live in, or the Great Places in New Jersey award, okay? How is that, and the mayor and the people who are responsible have thrived to make it a recreational area, to make part of the facilities renewables. There's a specific port, the E-port, that is supposed to move the community towards renewable energy, which the state really does need. Again, I'm going to ask someone that's on the planning board, Mr. Tamara, I know I met you near the bridge about half a year ago in terms of an incident where a young person took their life, all right? In terms of that, there needs to be hope for young people in terms of a new vibrancy in New Jersey. Who is on the planning board in terms of the freeholders? Have you seen this project? Because what I understand, the waterfront permit is before the DEP, and it has to do with the floodplain as well as the freshwater areas of the Arthur Kill. Have you seen any of these documents yet?
George?
No, we have not. Okay.
George Reverides is our planner, and he's in the audience, so he says we have not yet.
I'd appreciate, well, a number of people said you had some of the information in terms of the Williams pipeline. Can you at least, for me and the people who are affected, there's schools, there are residences, and as I told you, billions of dollars of investments that you've made for the bridges and stuff that are immediately next to this facility and that's what I'm saying by that. You've been progressive in terms of moving forward with transportation needs in this county.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is up, and if you have any further questions, George Reverides will certainly help you as much as he can.
I have to appear here because the mayor hasn't, and I believe mayor came several years ago to get a road closed for the
Thank you.
Motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close.
Second.
By Freeholder Kenny, seconded by Freeholder Tamara. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a different motion.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Tamara, seconded by Freeholder Koppel. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Shane.
The name.
Just want to make sure that's part of the official record. Thank you.
Keep it on record.